Hello, and thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. I'm going to be doing the Capricorn daily energy reading. As always, take what resonates, leave what does not, especially since this is a general reading. I also just wanted to remind you that if you're looking for some holiday gifts, there are the beautiful Otter Spirit bracelets. If you want to check out the review video and the link down below. Definitely check that out. They're absolutely gorgeous bracelets. Great gift to give yourself or someone else. All right, so let's look what's going on here with Capricorn. So we have this one. So we have the Two of Wands. So some doors opening up today for you, right? Some opportunities. Let's see what else we got going on here. We have, oh, look at that. We have the Lovers. So, as I always say, this is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave what does not. So I like to give all of the different scenarios that are possible with the cards since this is a general reading. So we have the Two of Wands opening up with the Lovers card. So for some of you, it could be a new relationship that is coming into your life soon. Or that you've just started. It also could be finding that thing that you are passionate about, because the Lovers can also represent that, like finding what it is that you're passionate about. Sometimes we're always searching, but it's like almost when you relax and you let go and you really look within, or maybe something pops up or something comes, like someone suggests something and you're like, and you try something and you're like, wow, I really like that. For me, it was a few years ago, someone had suggested playing golf, and I was like, golf? I was like, and I tried it, and I loved playing golf. I have so much fun playing golf. I haven't played it in like a year, but it was so much fun playing that, and I really enjoyed it, and I was pleasantly surprised. So it might be that some of you have this energy around you where you're going to find that thing that you're passionate about and something that you really get excited about and that you really love doing. I was also feeling the energy of that it could be a relationship that you have that becomes stronger and that it opens the door for this relationship to go to the next level. This could be a friend, a family member, or a partnership. It also could be that love that you have for yourself, right? That you're really starting to look out for yourself and you're saying, you know what? I want to start doing those things that make me feel good, that make me feel positive, that make me feel showing myself that I love myself, that I'm doing that self-care, that I'm doing those things where I'm looking out for myself. I feel like that's where love starts. That's what I feel. That's just my opinion, is that it's working within yourself and doing those things that make you happy. And when you have that happiness within yourself, then that spreads out to your other relationships. And that also brings in those relationships that are matching your vibration and your energy level, that bring that in. And when you see something that doesn't match that, you're like, no, I want to stay away from that. And it's about managing that within yourself and putting yourself at that higher energy level so that you can bring that in for yourself and you can see things that don't match that. So this is like such a beautiful message today, and it has so many meanings and opportunities for it. And I just feel like it resonates and it applies to so many people on so many different levels. The biggest one that I like the most is when you have that love within yourself and that spreads out to other relationships. And you realize the places that you need to set boundaries, and you realize those places where you need to focus more on and you need to put more energy on. Sometimes I feel like we take for granted those relationships that are always there and that are always positive, and that we kind of brush those aside, and like we have this tendency to focus on things that are not so good for us. And it's like realizing, you know what, I need to focus less on that and I need to focus more on this. And that brings in the Page of Cups, which is those new emotions and those feelings. I feel like for someone, there's a new relationship coming in for you. There's a new partnership coming in for you. I feel like it's something that's blossoming. I feel like it's something that's beginning. I feel like it's something that's really new and really exciting, and it's going to lead to something that is very fulfilling. Again, this could also be that hobby or that interest that you find, or maybe it's that new job or that thing that you're passionate about and you're like, oh, I really like doing this. And when you do those things that make you happy and that you're passionate about, then that makes you feel good. And that's like, oh, okay, well, let me look at different areas of my life. Let me look at the other things that I have going on in my life. And what are those things? I know that for me, I've been going through, definitely been doing a lot of self-care and a lot of introspective work and releasing and letting go. And when I feel really good, I'm like, oh, okay, I want to go through my closet. I want to go through my drawers, and I want to start getting rid of those things. I actually threw a painting away. I had bought this painting years ago, and it was of this girl, and she was in a dress, but you could only see the backside of her, and it was all in black and grays. And when I had gotten it, it reminded me of my depression. But I didn't. I got it because I felt like it acknowledged it, and it was something that I needed at the time. And so I ended up, it was behind my door in my bedroom, so I didn't see it all the time, but I knew that it was there. And I decided last week that I didn't want that, because I didn't want to be reminded of my depression. It helped me. I feel like we have these things, or we have people in our lives that help us for a certain point, and then it's time to move on. And it did help me through my journey, but then now I'm in a different place. And so now I'm like, you know what? I don't want that energy in my bedroom. And because I'm feeling really happy and I'm feeling positive, I felt like that was something that was taking away. So I ended up removing it and getting rid of it. And when I live in an apartment complex, and so I had put it in the dumpster, and I just felt that it had a lot of negative energy, but I felt like for me, something personal, that I needed to move on from it. And when I had put it in the dumpster and then I had driven away, I was like, goodbye. I just felt this huge, I can't even explain it, but it was like this huge relief. And I was like, goodbye, old life, focusing on depression and sadness and all of that. And I feel like it was a huge release for me. And I was driving, and I was like, hello, new life. I was like, hello, brightness and sunshine. And I felt so good, and I felt so happy. And sometimes we have these rituals that we need for ourselves in order to help ourselves move to the next level. Definitely with a lot of things that I've been listening to, we just had a full moon. And so it's like releasing and letting go. And there's a lot of other readers that I'm hearing that are saying, like, Capricorn is going through this transformation and going through this change. And like I've always said, the Capricorn birthdays are coming up, and the new year is coming up, and it's like new beginnings, and it's like releasing and letting go. And I always feel like this is what happens for Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn rising. Is that at the end of the year, it's like a big release and a big let go. And I feel like this is happening on a lot of different levels for Capricorn, and in different ways. We're all on our own journey. So I feel like it's really exciting, and it's opening up, right, new doors with the Two of Wands. And it's finding those things and those relationships that we love. And it's those new feelings of, those new emotions and new feelings. And for some, and for me, it's like, like feeling good all the time and feeling happy all the time and feeling positive. It's like that's something that is so different. And I can definitely feel like there are times where like the old me is like, no, you can't be happy. You can't be excited. You can't be positive. Like you have to be negative. And those are the things that you have to be aware of and say, no, like that's the old me. Like you're gone. I threw you in the dumpster. No, I don't feel good about like throwing the picture away, but I felt like for me, that was something that needed to be done. I didn't want to pass that energy on to someone else. And I felt like for me, that's what I needed to do. We all have our own ways of processing and working through things, but I just felt this huge sense of relief. And I just felt like going to the next level with that. And it was something that I needed for me on my journey. And I feel like when we start doing those things and we start realizing them more and more, and we're like, oh, like I should do this, and I should, I've been doing a lot of purging. I've been letting a lot of things go. I've been cleaning a lot. I just felt this need to clean and get rid of old things, and it's felt so good. And I've really liked it. All right, so let's grab a Wisdom of the Oracle. We've got 2 cards here. We have Peace, and we have To the Sea. I love it, because to me too, the sea represents that release and that letting go. And I feel like these two are definitely very connected, because just like me with the painting, is that when I released and I let it go and I moved on for it, I found peace within myself. I felt this calmness. And that's that's really what I feel like for me on my journey, is like, that's where I'm striving to be. And that's where I want to be, is a sense of calmness and the sense of peacefulness, that no matter what happens, I know that everything's going to be okay. And I had said this before in my readings, but I had somebody do a reading for me. It was someone that was on Etsy, and I paid for a reading, and they were talking about that I was going to find this peacefulness within myself. And when I first got the reading, this was a year ago, and I was like, peacefulness, I'm like, that's not exciting. Like, I want to, you want to hear all of these big things. But as this year has progressed, I started to understand that peacefulness within yourself is better than anything else, because it gives you this sense of calmness. And we can get excited, and we can get happy, and we can have these ups and downs, but feeling this peacefulness, I feel, is a constant. And it's a constant where you feel safe and you feel okay, and you feel like whatever's coming towards you, that you can handle. And that when you have these positive things, like, yes, it gets you excited, and it elevates that peacefulness. And I was like, wow, I'm like, peacefulness is the best thing that I could have. But in order to get to that peacefulness, you have to release and you have to let things go. I was thinking about this last night, and I was in my bed, and what I like to do for myself is I usually like to talk about things, and within myself, and talk about my feelings and talk about what I'm going. And for me, this is something that helps me when I'm able to talk out loud and say, you know what, this is what I'm thinking, or this is what I'm feeling, and I feel like being able to be alone and to process things and to work through things, and then being able to release them and let them go and find that peacefulness is such a valuable thing, and it feels so good. And I feel like people need to focus more on that. Of course, you have to do what you feel is right for you. I'm not telling you what you have to do, but definitely for me on my journey is that it's helped me the most, is being able to release and let go. Release, to forgive my parents, to forgive people, from my past, and be able to close those doors and open up new doors that open up new relationships and new things to come in for me. That I don't want to hold on to that baggage anymore, because that's just dragging behind, and I don't want to do that anymore. And I did that a lot. I would hold on to things, and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to hold on to this little tidbit, because when this person upsets me, I want to be able to, think about that and remind and no, I don't want to do that anymore. Right? And it's about being around those people that make you feel happy and make you feel good. No relationship is perfect, and you're going to have those ups and downs, but knowing within yourself that person really cares about you, and that when you hit those bumps in the road, you're like, okay, we're going to be able to get past this, because you're going to be able to communicate and talk through those things, right? And have that stronger relationship with that Lover's card. And that's what I was saying, is that for some of you, it may be those relationships that you have that you realize that are important to you, and they become stronger to you, and you're able to let those walls down and communicate your feelings. So I feel that for some of you, you may be at this crossroads, and you're at this indecision, and you're like, do I follow this or do I not follow this, right? Do I move on? Do I release? Do I go to the sea and do I let go and find that peacefulness, or do I just keep things the way that they are? Definitely, you have to be in the frame of mind to be able to do this work. I was also looking at the 8, and that represents the infinity sign, which is individual empowerment. And I really like that. It's also about abundance, and it's about bringing that abundance into your life with that Lover's card there. And I feel like for some, you have to be in the frame of mind ready to be able to do the work, and realize that this is something that's going to take time. It's like planting that seed. When you plant a seed, it's under the dirt, and you water it, and it has the sun, and you're like, oh, I don't know, like, if it's going to come up. And then it starts to break through the surface, and then it starts to grow, but it takes time for that. And I feel like this too is something that needs to take time. It's maybe those blossoming relationships maybe some of you are at that indecision of what to do with these relationships and where you need to go with, but I feel like maybe it's releasing and letting go and then finding that peace and say, okay, is this a relationship that I want to follow through with? Is this something that brings me happiness and joy, or is this something that I maybe need to set boundaries with, or I need to move away from? So for some of you, I feel like there may be, you're kind of at this crossroads and you're like, which way do I go? But only you know that answer. And if you feel that it's a certain way, don't talk yourself out of it. Follow your gut, follow your feeling. And sometimes it's hard to acknowledge that. We're like, but this person has been in my life for so long, or this person, has done this or has done this. And so you feel this sense of responsibility to that person. But it's like, is it really doing you justice to stay in that relationship? Is that really something that is helping you? And like I said with that picture, sometimes it's like, okay, it was, people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And maybe that reason or maybe that season is over for you. And it's time for you to move on. It doesn't mean you have to cut somebody off right away. It's maybe having that conversation or writing them a letter or, sitting down and saying, okay, this is what I need for my own mental health. And this is where I'm going on my journey. And this is where I need our relationship to be, and having that conversation. But again, it's ultimately loving yourself enough to look out for yourself and to make those changes that are needed for you on your journey, and to be able to release and let go and to the sea. And some of those things are hard that we have to let go of, but it's finding that peacefulness. When you find that peacefulness, you'll understand what I'm saying. You'll understand what I'm trying to get at, and you'll understand what I'm trying to help you with. And it's finding that love for yourself and that peacefulness within yourself and that happiness within yourself, that it makes life so much brighter and so much more positive. And I know that sometimes we can be in those places, we're not ready for this. We're not ready to hear the message. We're not ready to be in that place, and that's okay. And some of us may never get there, and that's okay. We're all on our own journey. But if you feel that this resonates and it makes sense, then you understand why you still need to release and you need to let go. And you need to shed those things and forgive those people. It's not about giving those people a pass. It's about giving yourself that freedom, right? And finding that peacefulness within yourself to make room for all of these beautiful things with the Lover's card that have come in to enter your life in a positive way. All right. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you're still hanging in there with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing day. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.